I enjoyed the game last night because I had a bad week picking games. It was starting off great at the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, and then I was wrong every game in the late afternoon window. I was wrong, as we all were, except for Matthew Berry with that Sunday night debacle that got good at the end. That's the thing about a bad game. A bad game can be bad for 55 minutes. If the last 5 minutes are good, you kind of forget all the crap you sat through. And that kind of applied last night, too. It was kind of bad for a while until it got going. And really in the second half, it got going.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the one thing being there, and of course the experience being there is so different. Don't get to see all the replays and everything like that. But, hey, there's the game itself, it was ugly. The first half was really ugly. The Giants kind of just hanging around. I will say, like in person, Mike, just seeing the two teams, it was pretty evident right away that the Cowboys were like the bigger, more physically imposing in person and the faster team in person, definitely. So the fact that, hey, they came back, won the football game, it's not shocking to me. But yes, the Giants have to play a certain style. The Giants really, when it's all said and done, there's not a lot to hang your hat on, and I think that's why the game's not always going to be enjoyable, or it's not going to be enjoyable with the Giants. They're ugly. They got to make the game ugly to hang around. They don't got some of the horses and some of the playmakers that the Cowboys do, even though I know the Cowboys got some injuries and are not even at full strength. But, credit to Cooper Rush. I think that's the first place you got to start right there. Down 13-6 on the road. Seems like the momentum's all on the Giants' side. Man, we blew some mistakes before that. CeeDee Lamb should have caught a long pass. We should have more points. And then just, bing, bong, boom, few handoffs right down the field, 13 all. And then of course, to make it 20-13 the very next drive. Giants go out. They go right back down again. I mean, it looked like a machine. It was just a well-oiled machine there at the end, and they kind of took over the football game and never looked back from that point.
Cowboys led at the half 6-3. The Giants came out with a methodical 10-play, 42-yard drive. 51-yard field goal by Graham Gano tied it up at 6. 3 and out by the Cowboys, which was the first 3 and out of the night.
Right.
And then that's when the Giants seemingly seized momentum in the game.
Right.
That was when Saquon Barkley woke up. The 36-yard touchdown run looked like 2018 all over again for Saquon Barkley. And it felt like that was it. 13-6, they stop him again. It's going to be 20-6, and it's going to be night-night for the Dallas Cowboys. Look at that cut, and then he breaks to the outside, slips a tackle, and then cuts it, and it's just Trayvon Diggs has no chance at getting him. And that's vintage Saquon Barkley. He plays like that. Even though they lost last night, they're going to win plenty of games.
Yeah, he's a special talent. I mean, he's definitely the guy on the Giants football team, all right? And I know we'll talk about Dallas because they won and all that, but he's definitely the superstar that jumps out for sure. He's the one guy that can make a play off schedule, or, hey, wait, the hole's big, but now I can make 2 people miss and outrun somebody for a touchdown. That's the other thing you just come to terms with watching them in person. There's not a lot of, real fast, explosive football players on the Giants. I mean, guys like CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown look like they're on a different planet compared to some of the Giants receivers. So, yeah, I think, that's something that the Giants are going to need here going down the stretch. Get the ball in Saquon's hands because he can take a little pressure off the football team. I mean, between him and Daniel Jones, they really got to do it all. I know Daniel Jones' stats aren't going to look all that great and all that either. But, again, I'm going to go into the sitting in the seats, watching the game, Mike, where I am. Man, there's not a lot of people open. There's not. And there's no receivers to sit there and talk about and go, ooh, wow, whoa, the Cowboys are scared of him. Look at this. They better double him. There's none of that. So it was Saquon and Daniel Jones kind of keeping them in it ugly, like you mentioned, and then, kind of Dallas. And I think just the better football team started to wear them down.
You mentioned CeeDee Lamb earlier. We showed the catch at the top of the show. He had multiple drops earlier in the game. And to Cooper Rush's credit, he kept going to him. They're trying to will him into being that number one receiver. And all of a sudden, when the game was on the line, he starts making plays. And then he makes the catch one-handed in the end zone to put the Cowboys ahead 20-13. Here's CeeDee Lamb after the game on the redemption that he achieved after his drops in the first half.
I appreciate Kel for trusting in me and all the guys, believing in my ability. And, it was tough. It was a tough, third quarter, just kind of I kept thinking about it. All the guys kept preaching to me to, let it go. We still got more game left. And then, fourth quarter when I kept hearing my number being called, I knew it was my opportunity again, so I had to step up. It was like a situation where I had to deal with most importantly on my own. Obviously just understanding that I'm the one that dropped the ball for the guys, so knowing that I had to make this up in the back end of the game, understanding that it was going to take it, like the game was going to go down to the wire, and I had to step up. It was mandatory.
Des Bryant was there, the guy who wore 88 before CeeDee Lamb, and he was dismayed at first, but after the game, I saw a report from Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News. Des Bryant goes into the locker room and says that's how 88s do it. Yes, in the second half, not in the first half, but that's the catch. That's how you win football games. That's how you take advantage of superior talent, and that's what they need him to do. That's why they let Amari Cooper go with that trade to the Cleveland Browns. They expect him to step up into that role. It's taken a little while, and it's not clear that he's there yet. Right. He's got to put a whole game together and not have those drops, but that's the kind of play that he needs to make to justify why he's wearing 88 and why he's the number one receiver on the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they continue to need that play, certainly. And, the no negative plays that we saw in the first half. But, yeah, they're going to have to ride him. They are. And especially until Michael Gallup gets back, right? Takes a little pressure off him, gives the defense another guy to worry about. Whoa, his speed, along with CeeDee Lamb and then Noah Brown, you start to go, all right, that's scary. We don't know where we want to defend the Dallas Cowboys. And then we see the run game kind of come along a little too. I mean, it was a successful night on the ground for the Cowboys. I mean, it didn't matter. Even the bad runs, it seemed like they pushed a pile forward for 5-6 yards. Ezekiel Elliott looked good, running power football. And then, as we talked about, Tony Pollard's the guy, that can do some explosive, fun things on the football field. He's a special talent. There's no doubt. He's another guy, Mike, in person, he jumps out as far as like, whoa, his ability to turn the corner or hit a hole where you go, it looks like he's moving a little faster than Ezekiel Elliott or some of the other guys on the football field. But Dallas, I think the encouraging thing here is like, no Dak Prescott, but learning to play as a team and finding balance and finding grit and tough and, managing the game that way and just taking advantage of the big opportunities, or at least the opportunities are there. And then like in, Jerry's world, hey, my stars will get it done in the big moments. And, his stars got it done in the big moment last night. They did. They're all helping the quarterback throughout the roster, whether it's, the receivers, the running backs, the defense, which absolutely played phenomenal. It was all over Daniel Jones all night. So I think that's the positive for the Cowboys, that they're 2-1 without Dak Prescott.
Let's focus on the running backs a little bit longer. Yeah. Tony Pollard had his first 100-yard rushing game since Week 5 of last season. That was the first 100-yard rushing game for any Cowboys player since Week 5 of last season.
That's crazy.
13 carries, 105. You saw the graphic. Ezekiel Elliott, 15 for 73 and a touchdown. And we saw the look a couple times. If you were watching the highlights there, Tony Pollard kind of came in motion with Ezekiel Elliott lined up behind the quarterback, and they gave the ball to him. There was a key third down in the game where they set it up where it looked like Pollard was going to take it outside and handed it off quickly to Ezekiel Elliott, and he bashed up the middle.
Right.
So you get both those guys on the field. The teams understand on defense what these two guys can do, and you can't ignore it. And that makes it easier for them each to do whatever it is that they're expected to do.
Yeah, that's right. And I think when you couple that with Tony Pollard's like skill set of where I think slowly but surely he might get infused into some receiver roles and catching the ball there, it can make it more dangerous as far as, what are they going to do? How are they going to attack us here with these two guys? There's a lot of options. Pollard on the edge, Ezekiel Elliott up the middle, Pollard in the receiving game. Oh, wait, now we got a linebacker covering him. That's a problem. So I can imagine that's, a road they're going to continue to go down, certainly. But, yeah, plays like that, a little creativity from Dallas just in the right moments, playmaking ability. And I'll give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit, too. I think one of the things that's going to go kind of forgotten about the game a little bit is, what was it, 4th and 3, Mike? 13 all, kind of just going, wait, we're in the balance of the game. We kind of got the momentum. We're around the 41 or 42-yard line, if I remember correctly, and then just going, you know what? I think it's time to, put our foot on their throat and kind of just show that we are the better team here and kind of end this football game. And they hit the little quick pass right in the slot. I felt like that was another huge turning point of the football game where Dallas certainly took control, and it just seemed like they never looked back after that.
Well, that was the drive that culminated in the C.D. Lamb touchdown catch. It was a pass from Rush to Lamb on 4th and 4 that just got to the sticks. I mean, it was very quick,
close,
bang,
right?
Bang. But there wasn't even much of a controversy over it. They gave him the first down and off they
was it
went.
worth a challenge or anything like that? You know, that's the one thing you miss in the stadium, like, because it did look bang bang. They showed one little quick replay in the stadium, and I went, "Ooh, man, I don't know if he actually got to the sticks." And they kind of hurried up and ran a play pretty quickly after that, if you remember too, because I don't think they were quite sure either. But you think he got it, or at least it wasn't worth challenging?
It happened so fast and they kept moving that you just kind of move on. It's like, oh, well, there's that. When they don't stop the game to look at it, you never really get a chance to assess whether or not he got it. But it looked like he did. But again, it all happened so fast. Like you said, to their credit, the Cowboys keep moving, and the Giants chose not to put the brakes on the game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.